Execute. That is what we will be talking about on this week's episode of Minutes with MinistaMike. Execute. Last week we spoke about following your direction, and we insinuated and we talked about taking action that is in sync with your soul. This week we will talk about execution. Yes, it connotes action. It's about implementation. Now let's audit your goal. This is February. Let's audit your goal. What have you done? What have you done? What have you done for the past 5 weeks in this beautiful year? For the past 4 weeks, 3 weeks? What have you done? What have you even implemented at all? Have you started that website? Have you started that podcast? Have you written that piece of content on LinkedIn? Have you started that newsletter? Have you started that affiliate marketing? I know, you've paid for the website you've joined, but have you implemented? What have you done? It's important for you to know that if you are a man or a woman given to execution, you know that you have to implement, because that is another word for execution. Implementation. That means you carry out something. What have you done? What have you carried out? This week, I want you to ask yourself, last week, what did you do? What did you implement? What did you execute? It's important for you to talk about it, because what you don't measure, you cannot improve upon. So it's important for you to measure your life. Your life is a goal. So measure your life. Measure it. What you don't measure, you cannot improve upon. You cannot even be able to audit. You won't know what you're doing. Do you understand? Most people don't want to implement. Most people don't want to measure because they are scared of what they will find out. They don't want to feel like a failure. I don't care about your feeling. I don't want you also to care about your feeling. Emotions run rampant nowadays. Then we have weak men and weak women that desire a lot but implement a little. So do not be like those people. I want you to desire a lot, but I want you to also implement as heard. If your desire is through the moon, let your implementation be through the sun. That is how you get things done. Execute. Implement. Another word for execution is enact. It's like enact is a legal term. You are enacting a law. It's like it becomes law. Is your word law? Is your word enactable? Can we bank on your word? Is your word to yourself, not to people, to yourself? Do you even keep promises to yourself? If you decide that, today I will do 20 push-ups, do you keep promise to yourself? Today I will go about my business and speak to at least 25 people. Did you keep promise to yourself? I will buy 2 books. I will read one of them this week, and the second one I will read next week. Do you keep your word to yourself? Do you enact upon your words? Is your words and your action law? That is execute. That's another word for execution. And another word that I want you to think about this week as you go into your week of execution is enforce. Enforce is also, to me, a legal term. It's like you are enforcing a warrant of arrest. It's like you are enforcing there is a law that has been made, and people are trying not to keep the law. What do? You enforce the law. That's what police officers are meant to do. They enforce the law so that you'll be able. Traffic officers, they enforce the law of the traffic. Civil unrest, police officers enforce the law. When it comes to the territorial threat, the military enforce the law of a sovereign nation against any incoming forces that want to attack them. That is what I want you to. That's the military mind that I want you to take when you hear the word execute. Enforce. Are you that disciplined to enforce the law that you've written for yourself, that today I will always wake up by 5:30 in the morning, and this is what I will do for the next 1.5 hours? Are you enforcing yourself to do what you got to do? It's about discipline. When you hear the word enforce and execution, it's about discipline. It's about doing what you don't feel like doing, but doing it anyway. is about doing what you decided to do. It's about doing what you've charged yourself to do. Enforce. When you execute, you accomplish things. That's another word that I want you to think about when you hear the word execute. Accomplishment. What have you accomplished? What do you want to accomplish? At the other side of accomplishment is execution. It's enforcing, it's enacting, it's implementation. Accomplishment. Fulfillment comes when you execute. Alright, prosecute. That's another legal term. Do you even discipline yourself when you don't keep your promise to yourself? Do you prosecute yourself? Do you prosecute yourself? Do you charge yourself guilty of failing to do what you've decided, what you've written down as your goals, as your plans, as your strategies? Do you even have it in you to discipline yourself, to prosecute yourself? Do you understand? Execute. And finally, this week, I want you to think about execution as if you're about to kill somebody, because that's another word for execution. Put to death, like hang somebody. If there are some countries that there is still a death penalty for some laws that you break. If you break some laws, they kill you. Okay, so I want you to think about yourself right now. What are the things in you that are breaking you up, that are breaking the law of life with you, for you, as you, that you need to put to death today? That you need to put to death this week? That you need to put to death this year? Execute. Put to death. What part of your nature needs to die? Oh, we all have those weaknesses. What part of your nature needs to die? Gossip needs to die. Laziness needs to die, needs to be put to death. Saying one thing and meaning the other needs to be put to death. Lack of drive needs to be put to death. Excuses need to be put to death. Execute. Put to death. Implement, accomplish. Enact, fulfill, prosecute. I want you to think about these words when you hear the word execute. Go into your week and execute. Thank you, and I will talk to you next week. Bye for now.